were looking for a house that would have rooms for all our kids and a large kitchen, a yard and good schools, a place for them to play in the street where it wasn't too busy. That's a big complaint they have today with our current house. So.
I think that Karen's knowledge of the area was fairly good. She just kind of helped us understand. For me, it was how close is it to work? What would the commute be like? Is this neighborhood generally considered a good neighborhood? So community by community, she walked us through. Our plan of action was originally to look below 485. We expanded that ultimately to get close to the city, as we're city people, we realized. And so as we moved from neighborhood to neighborhood, we needed a full explanation of what are the benefits, the costs, the taxes in each neighborhood.
One of the most helpful things she did at the beginning was bring us into a conference room and put the whole map of Charlotte up on the screen large, because we really need to orient ourselves to understand the various areas of South Charlotte, and then Marvin and Waxhaw, where we originally were targeting, and it was very helpful. So I would send Karen a bunch of links from my own searching. I spent a lot of time online using Zillow or other types of real estate apps, and then I would send her the links or the MLS number from ones that we thought looked interesting, and then she would tell us caveats on some of the houses to say, oh, I just want you to know that that one's near a waste treatment facility, or that's actually a fairly major road that you're looking on, even though it looks like it's in a cul-de-sac. So that was really helpful, and then she would take those and kind of get the greatest hits, and when we would arrive, she would already have them lined up and the timing and schedule, and then she would drive us around to each one and making the schedule, and it was really seamless and smooth for us. It was so helpful to have her here when we weren't.
It is a competitive process, and for us it was understanding what it would take to get into a home right away. So the closer we got towards Uptown, we saw that the market was moving faster, and then there were certain areas in the Waxhaw Marvin area that were moving fast. So we kind of had a general sense of what we could project as the asking price and what we could do up or down on that market. So neighborhood by neighborhood, the analysis was different, and understanding that was very important to our at least our end game, which was to get the house.
Something else that was different between Virginia and North Carolina is that when you come in to due diligence, you put a deposit down, and then you have that time frame within the due diligence period. If you decide that that's not the home for you, that you can then back out with just that deposit loss, which is something very different than Virginia, because you're kind of locked in and you have that contingencies. If they're met, then you own the home. That makes it even faster offers. We had one house that had up to 4 offers on it when we came to do it, and I think that understanding and knowledge of the North Carolina market is helpful when you're coming from another state that might be different.
Yeah, I think that a couple of factors. The taxes are very different between jurisdictions here. So you take a close look at the tax, the at least county you're in. Second, the school redistricting in Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools is quite difficult to understand. So I think do as much research as possible to understand what is today and what could be in the future. There's obviously no guarantee, but there is plenty of material out there to search. And then I think that as Charlotte is redeveloping quickly, it's important to just kind of get a bearing of who the prime builders are in the area and what their footprint might be. So we looked at not only current builds, we looked at existing builds, but then we also looked at future builds, and there's a timeline to each one of those. So balancing those needs was very important.